Hello. Good morning. How are you? I am live. Today is Friday. What is it? March 14th, 2025. I am live. Welcome to my show. Well, I'm going to freestyle this Friday for 18 minutes and under. Why? Because I'll just get right into it. But before I get into it, I'll say welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Insight and Perspective. I'm your host, Bronx Girl. And I would like to just say thank you to everyone for listening and tuning in and supporting the show. However, you take me along with you for the day, for the morning, I greatly appreciate it. But I was listening to some TED Talks, and with the TED Talks, they talk for 18 minutes and under. And I was like, maybe I could freestyle for 18 minutes and under to my audience just to get a little practice. Maybe one day in the future, if I ever decide that I am brave enough to at least try to go on TED Talks. But for now, we'll do. But as usual, my comments is not popping up, but I would like to just say, you sit back and you listen and take it in. Carry me with you for your morning, along your day, however you decide to interpret this show. It is greatly appreciated. Shout out to my supporters, the brave hearts, the ones that's been with me since day one, and the ones that are still here. You are greatly appreciated. So, with that being said, I have started and I will continue to start with and that's the thing. I have to get rid of those ums and ahs. So I may be correcting myself during these lives just for feedback and where I can make the correction. So just, you know, bear with me for the moment. I can't see the comments, but that's okay. You don't have to participate. What you can do if you are interested in me doing this episodes or episodes of Men Are Not Okay, just hit the like button. That will indicate that you were here. That's all I need is the like button hits, and that determines and tell me that you were here with me. And thank you. So yeah, I wanted to start a series just for practice on relationships. It's becoming like a gender war, men versus women, and I don't want to really be a part of that war, but I do have my opinions, my insights. I have my point of view, and I just have a worldview of relationships. And this is what this channel is about: relationships, freestyle, lifestyle, current events, anything that you could think of. But mostly it is surrounded and based in relationships. With that being said, I wanted to start, and I have started. I did my first episode of Men Are Not Okay, and Men Are Not Okay. And one may ask me, how do you know that you're not a man? It's just through observation and knowledge and experience, the things that I have experienced and observed with men of today. Men are not okay. And that's a problem, especially with the male loneliness epidemic going on. It is even contributing to that men are not okay. That is just a indicator that men are not okay. And from what I can observe and from my experience and my knowledge, I don't know why men are not okay, but they know more than me. They know more than us. They are who they are. And I have I speak to a lot of guys. I talk to a lot of guys. I I just connect socially with a lot of guys it doesn't have to be a love interest. It's not necessarily a romantic connection. However, in those small interactions that I make with men, I can be somewhat, and this is not intentional, judgmental, for the simple fact of the behaviors that they present every so often. And I gathered that some men will try to at least cover up their tracks and say, well, every man is not the same with every woman. But I think that's bullshit, right? So the men that I meet, the men that I know, the two guys that I talk to, just by passing friendly conversations, some of them, not most of them, not all of them, but a majority of them, right? I'd say some of them, not all of them, but the majority of men that I have met and known and this is not to anyone in particular, have this macho man hostility, aggressive aggression towards women. How is it that a man can be aggressive and macho man towards a particular woman, but then he meet another woman and he's gentle and kind? No, those behaviors follow you. Your behaviors and your characteristics indicate the type of person you are. Character change is a little bit more sustainable than behavior change. So if you meet a guy and he's aggressive off top, you may just brush it off as him just being he just talk loud, he talk aggressive, he don't mean anything by it for the first interaction you have with him. And you say, "Oh no, I don't take it personally because I just met him. I don't know him." As you get to know him and as you start to speak with him over the time period, and you still see that this aggression and macho man bravado still lingers, and you start to judge like, oh, he is one of those men. He is the type of guy that you have to raise the red flag upon for the simple fact that he just start off with hostility, that he just continue with aggression, that his macho man bravado behavior is just who he is. And then you think to yourself, like, who am I to judge another person because you don't know what they are going through personally? But when it's a repeated pattern with different men and they have a certain set of beliefs and ideology towards women and they portray that and they don't hide it from women, and someone like myself, a woman that has been and is and will continue to do research and study about this topic amongst other topics. But if I'm going to talk about men in particular and I keep it on them, the focus on them, because my focus is to at least put men in their place. But at the same time, I'm mostly standing up and speaking for the women that have and don't want to be put in the spotlight, don't want to be a target of men harsh criticisms. I at least take that step and speak up for all women that would like to be heard in a different light and someone that can represent, not represent, because we all as women need to stick together, empower each other, encourage and support one another. With that, we'll make a better world. But the men I come across, it's like they all have the same beliefs and ideology. They all have this pattern of behavior that leads me to believe that, yeah, this man can be abusive in nature, not because he's angry, but because, that's just who he is, not always physically, but verbally, mentally, emotionally. Everything that a man can do to try to knock a woman down a notch, he will do. And men are not okay because if they were okay, then it wouldn't be a male loneliness epidemic. And it is. Every man that I've met, and it's not the men that I meet, it's the men that I observe on TV, the men that I hear on social media, not Instagram. Not Instagram particular because I don't like Instagram. I don't know why I said Instagram. I meant to say Threads, Facebook, YouTube. Any man that have a male podcast and his hope and dreams is to knock a woman down a notch because he feel that women do not have a right to speak. He feel a woman do not have a right to have an opinion. Those are the men that I have in mind when I speak about this epidemic. Those are the men that I have in mind when I speak about men are not okay. It's like they're not even trying to um, rectify or remedy the problem or get a solution to the problem or make a resolution to the problem, if that's a word. If men were okay, then women would probably feel a little more safer around them. They wouldn't feel like, oh, they have to have their guards up all the time around a man because you just don't know what he's capable of doing. I'll give you a prime example. And when I say men are not okay, they're not okay. There are men that are just laying low because they feel like they are deprived of love and but they despise it at the same time. There are men that are lying low and suffer in silence. Those are the men that you should definitely be afraid of and steer clear of. I'm not saying you shouldn't have compassion. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, try to at least have empathy towards them. But the men that suffer in silence, the men that are lonely, the men that do not want to take the steps to better themselves or at least to improve their thinking, the quality of their thinking. Those are the men I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the men that at least try to improve himself every day, but he know it's not a easy road. I'm not talking about the men that know that they are probably left behind because they may feel that they don't have the confidence or ego or looks or money to at least be acknowledged in the world. I'm talking about the men that deliberately put themselves in a predicament and in a situation where they want sympathy and so want a woman to save them. So with that being said, I'll give you a perfect example. I was in the store. I just picked Zachary up from school. We was going to the store, and while we was walking, you see like the same people walking because it's a routine. Everybody, the school get out, so you see the same people. It's a routine. You see the same faces just about every day. Me and Zachary was walking, and there was this guy walking with his dog. So as he was walking with his dog, he threw the a ball like all the way down the street. The dog went to go get the ball, and the guy was still walking. I guess he expected his dog to just automatically follow behind him. I'm thinking to myself, why did he throw that ball so far for his dog to go that run that long to come and bring the ball back? That's neither here nor there. So we're in the store, and I'm standing there. The guy, I see him go in the store, and he was standing next to the refrigerator. So I know the guys in the store. I know the guy that make the sandwiches, the cook. So I stepped up and I put in the order. So the same guy with the dog says to me, "Oh, this queen, I was standing here, just, skip me." He called me a queen. I didn't say nothing because, men have this habit of thinking that they can call women that their names are not assigned, that they wasn't assigned at birth. So he's saying passive aggressively, well, it's okay, queen, it's okay. Queens, queens, they have, they say, I didn't know I skipped him. He wasn't even in front of the store to order what he wanted to order. He was standing in the back. So how would I know that I skipped him? So he was passive aggressively saying I skipped him. So I turned around and I told him, I said, you know, um, you could have said, "Miss, I was standing in line. You skipped me." He didn't like that shit. He didn't get nasty. He just looked at me. He just said it was okay. He said, "No, it's okay, but you made a big ruckus." Not a big ruckus. He wasn't getting loud. He was just saying it passive aggressively, as if like I intentionally skipped him. But the simple fact that he made it noticeable that I skipped him, the fact that he made it a big thing in his little way that I skipped him, with me not realizing that I skipped him because he didn't even look like he was about to order something. He was standing in the back of the store, not even in the front. So like, how you going to shout your order out? You going to shout your order out from the back of the store? So I was like, okay, well, you know what? You could have said, "Miss, excuse me, I was standing here. I didn't place my order yet." So with that, and when I said that, and I said it like that for the simple fact that, like, some men just don't think. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to think. They automatically think that shit that they think is okay, and the way they think that it's okay. So that wasn't me putting him in his place. I guess that was me showing him a way that there is a different way to approach a situation, or at least try to um, come to a solution or resolve conflict if there is one. And at the end he said, "No, it's okay, it's all good." You should have seen the way he looked at me. He looked at me in a way as if, who is this queen to check me? Like, I didn't get loud, I didn't get rude, because usually I portray myself as a decent, polite person, a human being that likes humans and respect other humans. But the fact that he called me a queen, the fact that he said I skipped him, he didn't say deliberately. He just said, "Oh, I was standing here. I didn't order." Like, I didn't know he was standing there. Right. So you the coward that's standing in the back, and you the coward that's waiting for trouble. Like, if whether I'm a woman or not, like, I stepped up to the counter to order my sandwich like a normal person would order their sandwich. I wouldn't be in the back shouting my order across to the cook. So that's what I mean when men are not okay. Like, they do things whether it's intentional or not. Right. He just could have went about it a different way. He could have just easily said, "Miss, I was first. I'm ahead of you. You skipped me. He didn't say that. He didn't have the balls to say that. You know why he didn't have the balls to say that? Because men like that feel like women shouldn't have an opinion or shouldn't, have rights. But if it was okay with him from the jump, he would have just took a L. Because if someone skipped me, I'm not going to just jump up and say, oh, especially a man. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to fight a man if he skipped me. I'm not going to fight a woman if she skipped me. I'll just let them have it. In today's world and in today's society world, no, we can't do that. So when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, he's one of those men that you have to be mindful of, and that he may cause a problem. He's one of those men that be like, oh, I don't argue with no females, the ones that don't have the critical thinking skills to develop critical thinking skills, so they will like ignore it, stonewall you. But he seemed like one of those type of men. I mean, I didn't feel threatened by him, but in his little passive aggressive way, I felt like, oh, okay, let me just steer clear and bow, no, not bow down, like back up, because I don't want an argument. But I did rectify the situation. But he did give me a look as if like, who are you to tell me how to talk to you? Like, don't, I didn't even correct him and say, don't call me queen. Like, y'all men need to stop calling women queens, because that's not what our names are. That's it. That's all. And men are not okay. And it's like, we will delve into this topic even more. So if you want to continue this conversation, I want you to meet me back here on Wednesday. I think a Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And we will talk about the Men Are Not Okay series, part one. Wait. Yeah, part one, episode two. I think that's what it is. But I would like to just say thank you to everyone. It is going under 18 minutes. I wanted to keep it under 18 minutes for this practice show, TED Talk style. But thank you for listening in, and thank you for listening to my insight and my perspective. And I would like to say to everyone, have a great day, have a great Friday, and peace. Peace, 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 peace. Make sure you hit the like button and let me know you was here. Or you could say in the comments, I was here, Bronx girl. Have a good day.